What's up, YouTubers? Happy Saturday. Today I would like to talk about physical versus digital. I saw a video on a young lady and she was talking about physical versus digital. Now, we all know, guys, the physical versus digital talk has been beaten They've been beating that dead horse for a very long time now. And I actually have an old video that I did last year speaking about physical versus digital. But we all know that conversation will never end and it will never stop. So with that being said, she kind of made me want to do a video on the physical versus digital once again. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it briefly. So this young lady was saying that, physical is good for collectors, but she preferred digital because she doesn't like to change her game. She switches out games all the time, and I'm like that too. That's why I have a lot of games. As you can see in the background, you really can't see it all that good, but I have tons of physical games, almost 1,000 physical games. Count almost, not 1,000 on the head, but almost 1,000. And I find myself getting bored easily. I like to switch games all the time. 1 minute I'll be playing this game for an hour. The next minute I'll play a game for like a whole day, and the next minute I'll be playing another game. So it's like every day I change a game, and I find myself buying a whole lot of games, and that's how I ended up with a whole lot of games. I get bored real fast. It's hard for me to stay on one game and finish that game. I don't know. It just became a habit. I guess when you're an adult and you have money, you can buy games 5 at a time, 10 at a time, 20 at a time. You just rack up a whole bunch of games. It's a bad habit. I'm not going to lie. It's a bad habit, and you could waste a lot of money doing that. But hey, everybody has their favorite fetish, their favorite hobbies, right? So let's get into the physical versus digital. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about it for a very long time. So, as I was saying, the young lady, she said she preferred digital because she doesn't like to play one game for a long time. She like to swap games out, and she doesn't like to change her games. Well, yeah, she doesn't like to get up and change her games. Now, to me, that sounds lazy. Oh, I don't want to get up. Oh, I'm a fat kid, I'm a fat boy, I'm a fat girl. I don't want to get up and change the disc. I just want to just hit the button, the Xbox button or whatever console that you play, and just select the game. That just sounds so lazy to me. Now, I have nothing against digital. They're both fine, but at the end of the day, physical media will always be killed. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Let me get my words right. Physical media will always be king over digital. Physical trumps everything. I have no issues with digital games. Everybody has their preferences, but at the end of the day, logically, physical media will always reign supreme because there's nothing like ownership, having a game, seeing it on your shelf, feeling the texture, the different size boxes that come in, the different goodies it comes with. A lot of games, come with like a lot of collector's items, a lot of cool art books, pins, stickers if you're into those type of things, soundtracks. I love soundtracks. I love me a good soundtrack. And other goodies, many goodies. And with digital, it's not the same. Even with digital, yes, you have a digital soundtrack, a digital art book. It's not the same as having a physical art book in front of you where you can feel the pages, the different texture of the pages, the quality they put into the pages. You turn the pages, you can look at it with your friends or your loved ones, your kids. There's nothing like that feeling. It's like a feeling. It's almost like physical versus digital to me is almost like cyber sex, right? Or you're just thinking about sex, right? Versus you actually having sex. You can feel a woman or feel a man, whatever it is that you're into. If you're guys, I hope you're into women. And gals, if you're into guys, hopefully, you're into guys. But anyway, physical is always better, is what I'm saying. Now, for instance, you see the games in the background on the shelf. When my daughter get older, she'll be able to play those games, have those games. When she has her kids can still play those games in the background. Digital games, you're just renting them. The developer can pull that game anytime they so please, whenever they feel like. When the licenses for certain music, certain content in the game is cut, sometimes they pull that game off those servers. You can't get those games anymore. The games, aka, get delisted. So what are you gonna do with a library of 1,000 digital games, 700 digital games, and they're just gone one day? Hard drive crash. My hard drive crashed on it before on my Xbox. So you got to take that into consideration, guys. I'm always fearing that my hard drive is gonna crash, and then what? At least with physical media, the games will always be there, right in the background. And she brought up an interesting point. Actually, I don't even think she had a point at all, but she brought up the point nonetheless that, well, with physical games, some of them are partially on the disc or not on the disc or partial on the cartridges. And we've seen that with Nintendo Switch, where some games wouldn't be on a cartridge in its entirety. Some games will probably have like maybe a gig of data, 2 gigs of data, right, on the 2 gigabyte cartridge, and then the rest is a download, which is the dirtiest thing companies can ever do. And I can't believe Nintendo let these developers get away with that. My thing is, if you're not going to put the full game on the cartridge, you should never put the game on the cartridge. I feel as if you're going to put the game partially on the cartridge and have a partial download for said game, don't put the game on cartridge at all. Just let it be a digital only game. I can respect that, and I would be cool with that. But once you decide to put your game, no matter how many gigs the game is, it needs to be in its entirety on a cartridge or on a disc. Now the games that's partially on physical media and the rest you have to download, I stay away from those games. In the past, when I didn't know any better, like the first time, for example, the Nintendo Switch's first couple of years, games like Borderlands and the BioShock collections was not in its entirety on the cartridge, and I got suckered in and I bought that. But I turned around, I believe I bought I'm not sure if I bought the digital version of those games, but even if I didn't, I should have gotten those games digitally instead of on a cartridge. Only like one game on there and the rest is a download. That's so stupid. So partially games that's on disc and cartridge, I don't get it. I just get the digital games. And I have nothing with digital. I double dip all the time, triple dip. And that's what these devs are hoping that you do, especially with Nintendo Switch. Instead of releasing the game day to day, which is with the digital version, they release digital first, and they may release a physical version maybe a few months down the line or up to a year. I've seen them do that. So you're not going to wait on the game if you really want to play the game. So you're going to buy it digitally, and then when it comes out physically, you just go ahead and buy it and you collect the game. That's how it goes. So the other interesting point that she brought up was the patches, and a lot of people actually use that excuse a lot, the patches. And someone have a point. But let me tell you about those patches. Honestly, and matter of fact, let me elaborate on the patches, because those patches, people say, hey, what about if a game had a bug, or they would say things like the patch may fix certain things in the game, pretty much, right? Maybe it may make the game better. Here's the thing about patches. That's what developers want you to believe, because they're so lazy on fixing the game out of the gate. But honestly, patches rarely fix a game. You know what patches does? All those patches do, I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 times, maybe 8 out of 10 times. You know what those patches are? Those patches are DRM, digital rights management, right? That's tied to your system, or you can't play it on another system. And also, those patches actually makes the game worse. They take away a lot of fun glitches, a lot of fun features. Many games I've played, all the patches does is take out, it just actually make the game worse. Zelda, for example. Remember that glitch where you could duplicate items? Oh man, I had so much fun with that glitch. They glitched it out. They patched it out. So why would I update to the latest version? And sometimes you can catch some people slipping, and they may talk about a certain patch. Don't update your game to this version because it takes away this glitch. So it's always ruining the game. Patches ruin games. It's just like the cell phone. A lot of times the cell phone, those patches, those firmware updates are just security patches to, stop glitches. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things, certain content I used to enjoy on my phone, but when I updated my phone, it wouldn't allow me to enjoy that same content because the patch took it out. So don't get suckered into, patches. Patches are bad. Patches strips the glitches away from the game, take away the fun stuff from the game, what made a core game fun in the first place. So I'm a bare bones guy. Like, however the game is, I like to keep the game that way. I do not like to update my games. And Nintendo is starting to fall into the same category as these developers, Xbox and also Sony, where they start patching their games. Because I have an old Switch and I can play all my old games on there, but when I try to play my old games, my library on my new Switch, it won't allow me to play. It says you have to update. And this is a cartridge, guys. Listen, if you buy a physical game, the system should not tell you to update that game if you bought it physically. I can understand digitally, but physically, no. So patches are actually bad. So I could live without patches. If the game has some kind of glitch in there or whatever, let it be. It's part of the game. It's part of the core game. I'm cool with that. I don't want a patch to fix that patch and take that fun patch out. I do not like to update my games, but it's very rare that a patch actually help the game run better. And sometimes when the patch make the game runs a little bit better, it takes away something else. A lot of times there's something else more important. So I would just like to elaborate on that. So physical versus digital. Physical will always be better. Physical will always be king. They both can coexist because I double dip. I like getting digital and I like getting physical. And the physical to me is just a backup, just in case digital games get delisted. I've seen it many times. There's a lot of games I like to play that's not available anymore, and you may have to find an emulator and a ROM to play those games. But if you had a physical game, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, they both have their perks because physical games, your games can get stolen, damage, loss. They both have their perks. The digital will always be there. Well, not always be there, but it'll be around until they delist the game, take it off the servers, or they come out with some stupid patch that ruin the game. They do it all the time, especially in this day and age. There's nothing better than having your game sitting on a rack or a bookshelf. You can display games, see your games, take a look at the goodies and whatnot. Nothing is better than the actual touch of physical media. And physical media still sells a lot, honestly. A lot of my favorite games take Ys 10 Nordics, a current release. Just came out yesterday on the 25th. That game was sold out. If the game is good, it will sell. Physical games still sell. And if you look at the digital PlayStation 5 versus the digital PS5, the physical PS5 sells more than digital. I wonder why. And now you have the PS5 Pro coming out, and that's all digital. And you guys see the backlash it has already gotten. The system is not even out yet. It's already gotten negative backlash. So there you go, guys. They're gonna have only YouTube. I noticed, man, like YouTube to me really doesn't count because YouTube is another form of social media. It's just like a dating site. Like all the losers go on a dating site, and all the losers, same thing, go inside the YouTube comments. There's a lot of losers in the YouTube comment section, and I know you guys might think that's disrespectful and that's messed up, but I'm calling it space to space. It is what it is. There's a lot of idiots on YouTube, and those are the idiots who go into the comment section and they'll wave that digital media flag all day, every day. But as soon as the service gets shut down for their favorite game, they can't play the PSN for that day or a couple of hours, or they can't play Xbox Live for a couple of hours. Those are the same guys that complain and said, yo, my games should work because I paid for it. No. You invested in digital media. That's like renting games. So when they decide to take those rented games away from you, you can't play. You can't get mad. If you want to play your games all day, every day with no issues, physical is where it's at. I have no problem getting up and change the disc at all. I have no problem taking the cartridge out of my Nintendo Switch and swap it out with another cartridge. I have no issues with that. They both have their perks, but physical media will always be better. Everybody in the YouTube section, everybody on YouTube in the comment section knows this, but they just choose to be assholes. They come online and troll and say, oh, digital is better. Well, yeah, physical all day, every day. Physical will always reign supreme. And once we finally go into the digital age fully, and these developers and companies start taking advantage where they start, I don't know where they're going to go with the price. They can charge whatever they want. But once they have total control with digital media, watch how everybody's going to complain and wish physical media was still here. And that's why I'm glad that Nintendo is still here, and their next system, the Switch 2, will still use physical media. But we'll see how that turn out. Yeah, guys, that's all I want to talk about. And that's it for the physical versus digital media. So if you're new to my channel, you already know what to do. Like and subscribe if you like my content. Thumbs up if you like it. Thumbs down if you don't like it. I can't please everybody. Jesus couldn't please everybody. Anyway, Reddick Premison, I'm out of here. Have a good weekend, guys. And oh yeah, what games are you guys currently playing? Right now I'm playing the Ys 5 Ys 10 Nordics. I have to get back on Silent Hill 2. I had stopped playing Silent Hill 2 I think a day after I got it, honestly. I just been having fun with some indie games right now. It seems like the indie developer just been holding it down. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys.